If you want to earn more while working less as a copywriter, then there's only one way to do that. And it's not some secret trick, it's not some bullshit little gimmick. It's actually just quite obvious, right? If you want to work more while working less, then you have to earn more for the work you're doing. So we can't be being paid hourly, and obviously we need to be valued and be working with premium clients so that we can charge premium prices, right? Because you can make 10k a month working with just two clients. You can make 10k a month working with one client. However, you either need to be doing a lot of things, which obviously doesn't fit with the wanting to work less, or you need to be delivering a lot of results in a high leverage way, meaning every hour that you're working by the laptop needs to come with a lot of leverage. It needs to get a lot of output, a lot of outcomes, and basically a lot of results for the work you're putting in. The best way to do that is to work with big companies, big names, okay, big personal brands, and premium clients that can pay premium prices. So in today's video, I'm going to show you exactly how you can land Iman Gadzhi without cold emails, without cold calls, and without sending any cold DMs, okay? Because A players like Iman work differently, all right? We all know Iman Gadzhi, we all know his face, we all know his YouTube videos, his marketing, all of his branding, and all of that stuff. But no one knows who his CMO is, his chief marketing officer. No one knows who his closers are. No one knows who his copywriter is. And no one really knows who his consultant is, you know? So who's the strategist? Who's the person behind the scenes pulling all the strings? Because that's what I'm interested in. And if you can find this person, well, I'm going to give you him today, but that's how we're going to end up working with people like Iman, because we're going to get our foot in the door through a different way. We're not going to be like the other hundreds of copywriters sending a bunch of crappy messages, fighting for attention in his inbox. We're going to be able to get in front of him without doing all of those unpaid tasks. Okay, so let's dive into who his actual consultant is, right? The person behind his 8-figure webinar launches. Because if you didn't know, it's Jason Fladlian, okay, the webinar king, right? You can go find his books, you can check out his website where he's known as the $250 million webinar man. And he's worked with people like Iman Gadzhi, Alex Hormozy, Bob Proctor, Russell Brunson, you know, like a bunch of people that have made, you know, 7, 8, and even 9 figures online. Okay, now Jason Fladlian, he's a lot easier to get in front of than Iman Gadzhi. He's only got 14,000 followers on Instagram. You can contact him via his website. His email is readily available, but he also hires for copywriters on the regular. Okay, so rather than you having to convince someone that copywriting is something they need, that it's like, you know, worth paying premium prices, this man is actively telling you that he's in the buying window and that he's looking for copywriters to work with. You know, he is putting out application after application after application. All you have to do is apply to them. You have to know how to apply to them. You have to have the right positioning, which means, you know, when someone goes to do their due diligence and they search you up, you can't be a ghost. You need to have proof, social proof. So that comes with a personal brand / digital presence. Okay, being able to apply and position yourself in the right way comes down to you understanding your service, you understanding your ICP, and you understanding how your offer helps your ICP. Because if you understand how much value you actually have to offer, you can position yourself in a premium way, charge premium prices, and work with premium clients. And the other thing here is that working with those premium clients gets you premium results, which allows you to attract more premium clients. And you can see how just working with one big name like Iman Gadzhi changes the trajectory of your copywriting career forever. Just like it did for me when I worked with Sebastian Giorgio, Summer and Ali, and all of these famous YouTubers that got incredible results with my work and allowed me to scale and get a bunch more clients. Okay, so if you want to work with someone like this, you know, and I'm going to show you exactly how my client did it, because this isn't me chatting out of my ass. It comes down to a few things. And before we dive into that, let me just show you the screenshot of my client closing, Jason Fladlian. Bear in mind, this dude didn't have a bunch of previous experience. He doesn't have rich parents. He doesn't have all of the things that most people will use as an excuse. He actually poured 2.5 years into this game without making a single penny. And after working with me, we positioned him correctly and he managed to land Jason, allowing him to work with people like Alex Hormozy, Iman Gadzhi, and all of those big names, because he's writing webinars for Jason. He's working on these projects and working with those people indirectly, allowing him to put them on his CV so he can scale with ease. All right. Now, how did he do it? How did he actually get in front of these applications, right? As I said, it is a job application, but there's a few things that you need to do correctly in order to smash that application. The first is your CV. What's your experience like? You know, do you have your portfolio attached to it? Is it even easy to use and low friction and easily digestible, and positioning you in the right way so that a premium client sees you as a premium authority and is happy and confident to give you premium prices? Okay, because maybe you do that right, but at the interview you're too, like, you get commission breath, you're trying to push to the close. So you need to be able to be a professional, be able to match what's going on in the CV, not lying and not like trying to scam your way in there, actually having the skills to be able to talk with conviction and talk with understanding, so that if someone gives you a bit of pushback and asks you questions about your strategy, about your process, about people you've worked with in the past, you can give them confident answers. Okay, so every interview or sales call I have is more of like a culture fit. Does he get the brand? Does he get the brief? Does he get the business? And will he fit nicely in the team? Because my CV, my personal brand, everything else, and my application process, it positions me as the obvious hire. And all the interview is really is just seeing, is this guy who he claims to be? Can he walk the walk? And the best way they can actually test that as well is just with a trial project. So don't be alarmed if big guys are asking you to write some free copy. Don't be alarmed if big guys are going to be like, look, we're having a probation period, because big 7, 8, 9 figure companies, they work like proper, 9 to 5 businesses that maybe you're trying to escape from anyway. The difference is we're not some employee, we're a freelancer coming with leverage, which means we're allowed premium prices. We can message them a few times a week. We don't have to be in office, right? So you need to be able to get those things correctly, because once you do, it creates a flywheel of being able to get more customers. And that's why everyone inside the magnetic client method is making, 4 grand in their first week, 3 grand in their first week, 11x in their income, becoming top 1% earners for their age, getting crazy results. And the reason why they're doing it is because I broke down every single module to help them build these things, but I also build it for them. I build it with them. I'm giving them feedback every day. I'm helping them with their application questions. I'm sending gig applications when I'm seeing them. I'm giving them warm referrals. Okay. And so that's why they're managing to get results like this. But once they get it once, it creates this flywheel, right? If you land clients, you get good results, then you get a testimonial, you unlock leverage, which unlocks more clients. Now imagine that first client is Iman Gadzi. Well, you get much better results because he's got a warm audience, a proven offer and authority. You get a great testimonial because you've made him a bunch of money, you've got great results, he's happy. That's then way more leverage than, say, these low-level copywriters reaching out for people, with 500 Instagram followers. That leverage allows you to land even bigger clients, and it just gets bigger and bigger and better and better. So you can see how this flywheel works, and how if you stick to copywriting the old way, constantly bashing your head against the wall, sending cold emails to people that literally tell you to fuck off and don't even want you, then you're going to struggle. You're going to be on the wrong flywheel forever. And that's a flywheel where you're not getting paid, you're burning out, and you can't obtain your dream life with copywriting. You'd flip it to this way and you just start treating yourself like a serious business. Unlocking your dream life with copywriting, becomes really, really like simple and obtainable. So if you want to build your CV together, if you want to just talk about a strategy and a roadmaps where you know what to do, when to do, and how to do it, then feel free to just book a call using the link in the description. It's a 15-minute no pressure chat just to see if we're a good fit and just to identify the main bottleneck holding you back right now. But other than that, I'm going to be doing more of these videos. I'm going to be sharing more results from my personal copywriting clients, and I'm going to be showing you exactly how I managed to build my 6-figure copywriting business. So hit like, hit subscribe, and take care of yourself, because I'll catch you in the next one.